Hello. How is everybody doing? Um, we are back once more with round four. Oh, that rhymes. I'm a genius. Of the Olympiad. Diana is resting today, so that is why we are starting a little bit late. Because, yeah, here we can wait a little bit for. Oh, sorry. I think the mic was maybe a bit far away. Also, my voice seems to be a bit strange. Or maybe I'm imagining that. Um, yeah, anyway. Hello, Chris Random. Hope you're good. Is sound level better now, or should I turn it up? I don't know if I can actually. But I can do some ASMR. Anyway, we are back with round four. Trisha, hey Kyo. A little bit louder still. That's odd because the loudest setting seems to be engaged. This is only lower. I don't know. That's weird. Bit low still. That's weird because hello. Hello. I can only get it lower. I can't get it louder. Um That's a bit strange. I'm not sure what's happening. By the way, everybody, finally, I've managed to not be an idiot, and I set up my own stream on Restream, so we're broadcasting on both channels simultaneously, I think. So, yeah. If you want to give me a follow, maybe I'll stream at some point. Maybe. If not, then I won't. Or maybe I will never, or maybe I will anyway. But yeah, I'm aiming for productivity hack streaming. Who knows if it's going to work out. But that's the goal, to trick myself into focusing. I hope the sound is not too bad, by the way. I don't know how to get it any louder right now. Unless it's like the wrong mic or something. But it can't be. Oh, maybe like this? Hello. Let's try this. Is this better? Hello. Bit better, okay. We'll go full boost. How about now? Test. Hello. Hello, Jeffrey. How are you doing? Yes, better. Okay, brilliant. Tech Panamundo is on the case. Streaming specialist over here. Yeah, so we are back with round four. Diana's resting, as I said. So we're starting a little bit later today. Let's hope that the team can get a win after a slightly tough match yesterday, losing to the underdog team. But it happens. I mean, Thailand, they seem to be very underrated. Doing great. That's good to hear. I'm doing good as well. I'm a little bit bothered by this university, research project thingy that I have to finish, and I can't get it off my. And it's a bit annoying. And also, my voice is a bit, I don't know, strained, I think. So I hope having a shorter stream today might help out. I'm actually, I don't know, maybe I'm just not used to talking so much. Who knows? Probably that's the reason. It's not been like. What am I studying? I'm studying political science. I did law before that, and then I finished that, and then I did other stuff, and now I'm back to university. So yeah, that's my origin story. Also, by the way, everybody, I'm streaming on my channel as well, so if you want to give me a follow, feel free to click that button. Stream link is in the pinned comment. I do want to stream sometimes. Jan has this whole setup. I might as well make use of it. And I hope to use it for some productiveness, productivity, chess study, maybe some, other essay writing or whatever. So, loads of possibilities. Not corrupted by Machiavelli. He gets a bad rep. It's actually an interesting debate whether Machiavelli was like giving people a manual how to rule, or if it was more like a cynical kind of criticism, but he couldn't publish it in a more, open form. So, I don't know. Machiavelli, interesting character. Now I feel empowered talking quietly. Now that I elevated the sound levels. So tell me if I need to elevate them even more now that I'm not talking so loudly. I feel like I'm actively saving my voice by doing it. Yesterday, I really fricked my tooth somehow. I bit into a carrot and it I don't know. It was a tooth on tooth thing and it crunched and it was very nasty. Even now thinking about it makes me shiver. Anyway, hope that doesn't happen to you guys. Okay, so kind of a Catalan-esque position. I didn't actually pay attention to the opening. Okay, yeah. I always I know Catalan is a bit risky sometimes because it can work out very well, but then sometimes you don't get your pawn back and then you're fricked. But this seemed to have worked okay-ish. I don't mind White's position. And she has 1 hour against Trisha's 40 minutes. I don't know. These people at the Olympiad, very, very strange stuff. Very underrated, I think. Because, I don't know, very well prepared as well. I don't, it's kind of interesting. This is not super easy though. So Queen C2 takes. No, you can't do this because, never mind, your queen's hanging. Never mind. Ignore me. All right, so we'll see how this game turns out. Let's go back and see the other games. I've just been looking at the overview so far, and I was a bit worried by none of them having any big advantages, so this has been a bit scary. Alice going back to her C4, her trusted system. She's going to play F4 at some point, I'm calling it. Question: Germany is the home of the greatest political thinkers ever. Interesting theory. Who would you consider the greatest political thinkers ever? But in your opinion, how the heck did Hitler emerge out of it? Well, okay. That's an interesting question. I mean, I wouldn't. You may refuse to answer. I wouldn't say that. Hitler was anything too special in terms of like political theories. Um, I think it was mainly like, I don't know, a megalomaniac with a knack for instrumentalizing certain sentiments within the population. Um, and I think basically it was taking advantage of circumstances. Germany being defeated in World War One, like a very long history of anti-Semitic stereotypes in Europe. You know, the situation after various conflicts with France and other European powers, the Versailles Treaty, then like hyperinflation, then deflation, and so on. So like a variety of factors. And then, I mean, also sort of a mix of ambitious new political ideas in the Weimar Republic mixed with sort of a old guard that was trying to hang on to their power by any means necessary, which they thought might be doable if they supported Hitler, which, you know, how that turned out. But yeah, just a whole bunch of factors. I don't think there was anything too notable about the political theory of it. No, it was just trying to maximize control in a particular way. And sort of the cult of the leader is just one way to do it. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Also, I was still waiting for who do you think, who in your opinion are the greatest political thinkers ever? Anyway, let's look at Alice's opening. So c4, I'm trying to, eventually transitioning into sort of a Maroczy structure, but with d pawn still on the board. This is always like okay for black usually. Oh, it's not uncomfortable. No worries. It's not uncomfortable. Yeah, so our opponent also seems to be playing quite decently. This is not the most ambitious of openings there. Alice just wants a position to play. Eventually, she's going to play f4, not because, she just will. She'll find the moment. Marx, okay, sure. Although most people would consider him an economist, I think, more so than a political thinker. These days, anyway. He wasn't very particular about anything when it came to how any, communist, socialist system might look like. I guess Engels was more the guy for that. Anyway, so Merkel. Good God. Hello, genie in the bottle. How are you doing? yeah, if you guys are looking for Diana's board, she's not playing today. They're taking. Am I Diana's father? Okay, calm yourself. Calm yourself. My goodness. Hello, GG on top, or gig on top. I swear I'm hearing Viber chat notifications. Viber. I don't even know what that is. Wait, I don't. These headphones are actually connected to a different audio source, so I don't actually know the sound that you're talking about. Alert me. Maybe it's like a restream thing? Or maybe it's the masses of follows I'm surely getting on my own channel because you're all heading over there and following. Every single one of you. 17. We have 17 viewers, so please, everyone, just hop on over. All right, so, sorry, I'm getting distracted. H3, E5, odd move. I don't really understand it. It's not necessary. Like, if there's one advantage that black has in this position, it's that white doesn't have the d5 square, and this bishop is not restricted the same way this bishop is. So I don't really understand why you would play e5 in this position. It's a very anti-positional move, but maybe just didn't know what to do, which is fair enough. It's not always easy, but I mean, you could play bishop b7 or bishop a6. Not that those moves are like particularly brilliant or particularly appealing. Oh, by the way, thank you for the follow, GG on top at Delrev. Sorry, I didn't have the audio in, so I didn't hear you there. Didn't hear the notification. Maybe that's what you're referring to, the follow sound. Okay, so f4 was played. Told you. Alice would find the time. Okay, interesting. Bishop takes I wouldn't have considered. I would have thought g takes or knight takes. Because g takes just because, you know, we have f5. And knight takes so we can bring this knight into play. But I guess we have the square now, so maybe bishop takes and then here, knight here makes sense as well. Although it's still not entirely clear what this knight is doing then. But okay, bishop takes. d6, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of how our opponent is playing this position, but I suppose it's fine. Okay, now Alice maybe aiming to trade off this bishop, which would make some sense. That would also make sense as a reason for why she played bishop takes f4 in the first place. Now, it is sort of an open question whether or under what circumstances we want to do this, make this trade, because this bishop for now, I mean, it's at least putting some pressure. This bishop, kind of an empty diagonal. But, I mean, yeah, it can always come out anyway, so I guess it makes sense, and it's also a defender of the king. So yeah, so rook to e8. Computer doesn't seem to like that very much. I don't... Okay, I guess it's a bit counterintuitive to do this instead of, you know, anything like developing. I guess bishop e6 would have maybe been a sensible move, just because, you know, you're bringing your pieces into the game, and f7 is sort of your only weakness in the position. It's kind of strange to move the rook away to a file where it's not really, like, this pawn isn't going to move. Like, you're not really going to have any scope on the e file. And also you might still want to bring your bishop here, and you're undefending f7. So in many ways, slightly puzzling. So initially, it didn't look so weird, but when you think about it, it is a little bit unexpected. Okay, knight d5 also looks pretty normal, but also not liked by the computer. Is there any reason? I don't know why necessarily. I don't know, maybe just this and then here. No, doesn't seem to be the thing. But taking seems to be correct. Maybe here? No, but why? Maybe here? Aha. Okay, so now maybe you're thinking about taking, and then you have control over the dark squares, and it's no longer possible for white to contest, so maybe now you can't really do anything about it anymore, I guess. That's very deep. As in, like, not many moves deep, but very positionally deep. That it's a mistake to move the c knight, because then you can, basically you're going to get both of your knights traded off, and then you're going to lack control over these central dark squares. So it's very interesting. Very interesting. Anyway, okay. Black instead went back. Wait, sorry. Okay, bishop e6 was played. Knight c3, and now rook back to f8. So, okay, black understood that I guess it didn't really make that much sense to have the rook on e8 and the bishop on e6. But okay, it's not a disaster. You just wasted a couple of tempi, but it's not like there's anything happening in the position. So, yeah. So now I wonder what white's plan is here. I'm not really sure about. I mean, if she played bishop h6. Well, first of all, you'd have to be careful that you're not hanging anything, because once the queen is gone, the knight has the bit of free reign. But I guess it's fine. I guess you're not hanging anything, because if knight c2, you can always move the pawn or something. So then, stacked on f-file. Well, trade knights. You say trade knights, but how are we trading knights? You mean we're going back? I think if we trade all the knights, black is quite happy, because then you're never attacking. Because now, I mean, this bishop's going to be on e6, and you're never going to attack anything again. Because your bishop's pretty useless. I mean, it's not, I don't know, I don't like these positions. They're very, I don't know, so maneuvering, and it's not my, I don't know, it's not the kind of chess that I find most exciting. Alice likes them though, so that's more important because she's the one playing them, so ignore me. Okay, there's also bishop g5. You are sort of controlling these dark squares. And now, if you force f6, then you're quite happy, I think. Because now you actually might have a target, and black might eventually have to try to play f5 or something to get rid of the weakness. And the bishop's going to be bad. Although, I mean, even there, it's still not easy to see what exactly is happening. But just for illustration, you can't really, it's not an easy move to meet actually, because you need to keep defensive this pawn. You can't go here, so you're gonna have to go, for example, queen to b8, and then knight to f6, and here you're in big trouble, because if you take, I'm gonna do this kind of thing. I mean, this is just dreadful with the dark square control, and if you don't, I'm gonna fork you. So maybe bishop g5 forces f6, and then I mean, I don't know, we can go back, or we can think about trading. Okay, apparently the computer doesn't love that at all. Yeah, I mean, it is hard now. It's not really a weakness anymore. But here, I mean, we achieved something. We made a weakness, but it's not clear how we're going to make use of it. I guess now we are going to eventually do this, but we have to, you know, be a bit careful, because we don't want to hang the b pawn, and I don't know, very complicated to make anything particular happen. So not so easy at all. But let's look at the other games. Tosh against, oh my goodness, is Tosh worse? Ah! What is happening? No! Are you joking me? Team Ireland is struggling, riding the struggle bus. Oh my goodness. What is up? Sudan. We're playing against Sudan. Freaking hell. What is happening? Okay, I guess this is their strongest player, if I saw that correctly, by the way. This is very strange. This is like, I don't know, the underdog team's wisdom, apparently, putting their strongest player on board 3. 3 for some reason, I don't know why exactly. Why not 4? I don't know. Maybe they have a board 4 they trust to win some games or something. I don't know. I'm not really sure. So this is their highest rated player anyway. That, yeah, is playing here, and she plays c4, e5, so reverse Sicilian. Okay, reverse dragon. Okay, all looking pretty normal. So I was actually listening to the Chess24 broadcast earlier. No, sorry, the lead chess. The other broadcast, sorry. The other broadcast. Some of the broadcast of the Olympiad before I started the stream. And somebody was quoting, I think Bent Larsen or someone, said, I don't like the dragon, the d5 square is too weak. And white is basically playing a dragon as white, so that will make the d4 square weak. So we can maybe try to remove some of the control of that and do this, but okay. Anyhow. Okay, so computer seems to like, right? I don't know. I'm not going to look too closely into it. Rook c8 is interesting. I don't really understand. I mean, okay, I understand we're defending it again from the knight, but is this the way? Is this the way the world works? I mean, it's kind of uncomfortable. It's not exactly clear what black should be doing. I do agree with this. It's a bit tricky. I mean, I don't play these kinds of positions. Like, I mean, I play Sicilians of this kind, but not in this exact, I don't know. A lot of African sides are stronger than you think. Well, I mean, sure. I mean, stronger than maybe. I don't think you're particularly underrated necessarily by default. Um, okay, so we play. Okay, hold on. So we played rook c8, and then we played rook a8, and then we lost. That's I don't know what to say with that one. That's a bit odd. Okay, I don't know. Okay, so why are we lost? So I mean, this is hanging for the record, but maybe we need to take care of some other things first. Ah, but this is also a thing now. So maybe we can do this. No, apparently not. Maybe take here first. Uh-huh. Sorry, I'm just interpreting the engine. No, okay, not this. Maybe here. Okay, I mean, this is a bit tricky. I'm not gonna lie. But okay, this taking here, of course, makes a ton of sense as well. Because now you can just take your pick of good moves, really. If you remove this bishop, the light square diagonal is going to be super weak, and you can play queen v3, for example. And that's really tough. I mean, things are going to fall. You have, I mean, great, brilliant bishops. Oh my goodness, this looks very nasty. I mean, just positionally, this looks busted. You don't even need any tactics. You can just probably take on e6, and I assume you shouldn't take here, because you really want to take this bishop off the board. Although it is true that, I mean, after you take here, there's a bit of counterplay, but it shouldn't really matter, because here and then, let's see. Queen b3, and what does black do? I wonder, can you do this or this? Oh no, you can't do this, of course. So here, you can't do this either. So I guess you have to play c6. And then you can take here, maybe. I don't think you're getting trapped or anything. And then, I mean, this is hanging next. Everything. Oof, no, I don't even want to look at this. This is nasty. This is very nasty. And I guess that's what was played. I mean, very solid game from the opponent there. Gotta say. Lara though, okay. Lara though, our shining ray of hope. Lara, these days not a Catalan player anymore, I think. Oh, I saw this, yeah. Okay, this is that was a very strange opening by black. I don't really understand what's happening. This seems awful. You can even play e4 here, and then you just, I don't know, seems just losing out of the opening, honestly. Yeah, she did play e4, and then play e5, and I mean, this is just awful. It's the worst position I've ever seen. Okay, b3, I don't understand. Why are we doing that? We can just play like h4 maybe, or bishop e3, or bishop d3, or, well, maybe not bishop d3, but bishop e3 and queen d2 and here and whatever. But okay, b3, bit puzzling. Maybe she wants to do this. She's a French player, so maybe she wants to trade off her It's not really weak. I mean, it's not really a bad bishop. It's not really that bad. But it's, you know, technically you're a bad bishop. Okay, this is more of a French player's idea, yeah. Oh, no. Okay, bishop e7, queen g4, bishop f8. That's no. That's a big no. I mean, to be honest, I also don't know what to do here. It just seems... I mean, probably you sacrifice the pawn at some point, because, like, otherwise you're just gonna get destroyed. But who knows? Who knows? Okay, and now this knight's also on a square where it doesn't really have any prospects. I mean, it can try to come in here, but it's going nowhere. All the squares are covered. Can't even go here, and now we just hang this as well. Maybe eventually. Maybe not. Apparently not. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm blind. Somehow I thought the bishop was on d2. That's stupid. Anyway, Lara is not going to be blind like me. And maybe she's just going to castle, or maybe she's going to take and then castle, sort of develop with tempo. And actually, I mean, you do this, you do this, you do this. And okay, apparently computer doesn't think that's the best way, but it looks like everything is kind of falling apart for black. Your whole queen side is getting overrun. You have a terrible structure, and you're not developing your king side. So I don't know why this is only plus 1.8, to be honest. But okay. We shall see what's going to happen. Meanwhile, let's have a look at Trisha's game. We need some wins here. Let's go. Trisha also lost yesterday. Bit unfortunate. How's Diana doing? She's not playing today. She's resting. They're always taking turns who rests, and Diana and Alice were the only ones who haven't rested yet. So today it's Diana. Tomorrow it's going to be Alice. Most likely. Okay, I mean, now we're a pawn up. Sorry, I just clicked. I didn't really actually see what was happening. So here. Oh. Yeah, okay, so white just hung a pawn. That's unfortunate for them. So I guess we just go rook d7. Or are we losing it back somehow? I'm not sure. Also, by the way, everybody, if anybody is watching who hasn't followed my channel yet, we're streaming there as well. Give it a follow. Link is, well, was in the pinned comment. Hold on, disappeared. Okay, there we go. Okay, so probably rook d7. And maybe she's thinking about bishop d7. Okay, I mean, to be honest, so what if you just try to trade some things off? Can you get any counterplay? No, you can't really. I mean, you're just gonna do this and then... Yeah, then you're eventually just gonna push into... Yeah, okay, this does nothing. So yeah, Trisha's up a pawn. Looking good. Playing clean game so far. Of course, she's also a huge favorite, several hundred points higher rated. Opponents around 1700. So yeah, that is good. Let's hope she keeps that up. And how about Alice's position? Okay, so she did go for bishop h6. Now, I mean, it's a real question. We were thinking bishop g5. Bishop g5 because basically it forces f6, because if you do something like this, trying to keep hold of the b pawn and moving the queen away, you have this. If you take, I mean, everything is super weak and maybe the queen can come in and whatever, like, you're not going to survive this. And if you don't take, then you have this. Oh, sorry, no, not here, sorry, not in this position. Maybe it was a different position we were looking at. I guess you play like queen f4 or something. And then you go here and here. Sorry, somehow I forgot the bishop was there now. So yeah, that's not happening. But it's still crushing if that happens. Okay, so your opponent didn't take the bishop. Instead, knight to e5 was played. So she is putting some pressure on knight square pawns, which makes it a bit awkward for Alice to bring her pieces into the game. Now, I don't know if Alice's plan was to take it. It doesn't really seem like a great idea because, I don't know. What does the computer think? The computer doesn't like it. I mean, the thing is, this bishop is just so useless, and these knights are always going to put pressure here. So I don't know what you can really do if you trade off your main attacking piece. But on the other hand, how well can you really attack with a dark square bishop when your opponent also has a dark square bishop that's fianchettoed? So I'm not sure. This is not an easy position to play at all. I'm not really sure what the correct plan is. I mean, apparently bishop g5 last move was forcing f6, but even after f6 I don't really know what to do after that. So not easy. But Alice is, yeah, she has a lot of experience in these kinds of things. She plays it a lot, and well, she's also much higher rated than her opponent. She's been like 2050 or something like that, so probably even higher than that. And her opponent is 1626, so should really be a huge favorite. The thing is, also, when we say that they are underrated, you have to keep in mind that like these people, especially the ones who have titles, that means very likely that they've gotten those titles at previous Olympiads. And if they've played previous Olympiads, they would have played with K40 most likely in an Olympiad where you could very easily gain a lot of rating if you're underrated. But if you then end up at 1600, that sort of suggests that it's not too far off, at least. Unless you play only against underrated players, but that doesn't really work because not everyone at the Olympiad is underrated. So yeah. Okay, so she did take. I don't know what her plan is. It doesn't. Like, I just like this bishop better than this bishop. I like these knights about the same, maybe, as these knights. And pawn structure, maybe I like white's pawn structure a tiny bit more, but I think the bishop's more important. Also, black still has a pawn break, whereas white doesn't. So maybe actually I don't prefer white's pawn structure. Who knows? I'm just trying. I mean, I'm fitting. It's kind of impossible to evaluate a position when you already know the evaluation, because then you're just gonna rationalize. But I do think that was about as honest as I could be. That this bishop is just better than this one, and that's why, all other things being more or less similar, black should be a bit better. Okay, let's look at, well, actually, let's look at the open section. Today we can also look around a little bit, but first let's take a look at the Irish team. Of course, yesterday they had a last-minute loss to Greece. They were actually on track to tie a second match against a stronger opponent. They were playing Greece, very strong team. And it was looking good for a while, or decent at least. Tom O'Gorman lost, but David Fitzsimons won. A very nice game. And then it came down to Connor Murphy and Tarun. And Connor was in trouble, I think, but he held it eventually. Was that what happened? And Tarun was actually in a decent position. Then his opponent played like a very nice queen sack, and eventually managed to win. So yeah, that was exciting, but unfortunately it didn't turn out the way we would have hoped. So they lost 1.5 to 2.5, I think, to the Greek team. So then today they are playing against, what is this, Tunisia? Yes, Tunisia. So let's look at this game. So Italian. Yeah, and I don't know why they all play this. Just to make fun of me because I don't know anything. Oh, it seems to be going well though. Who knows why? Okay, actually, it does kind of make sense. These bishops are kind of nice. These bishops are kind of trash. And black's pieces are coming in. So actually this particular Italian makes some sense to me. Yeah, this looks like a nice position. Like black's pieces are just better positioned. And also the structure is not great, and like, yeah, nothing looks that appealing. Oh, and you can actually take here. Okay. That's also helpful. I didn't think those. Yeah, okay, I guess it works, huh? I thought there were some tricks, but apparently not. Okay, so Connor seems to be in a good position. Alexander Baburin back to the board after resting for 2 rounds, I think. So a Bogo. A Bogo that doesn't seem to be going too well at all. Personally, I like this kind of style, or the eventual here, this kind of plan. One of those plans I find more appealing than this kind of d5 and c5 idea. And apparently computer also doesn't love what's happening here. And knight c6, maybe a bit greedy. I'm trying to keep the road open for the bishop. But maybe knight bd7 would have been better, but okay, who knows. And now your knight looks a bit misplaced actually, because it's dominated by this bishop, and it would love to get out of the way, but it can't really. Yeah, maybe you should play, I don't know. Nah, nothing looks particularly good. And I was thinking, like, do you do this? But this looks awful, of course. So, just to untangle. But here you're going to struggle getting your pieces into the game. White has just everything pointing over at the king side, where as you are not really getting your pieces out. Although maybe you can play e5. Maybe you can play e5, sort of liberating your bishop a bit. Maybe e5, e4 or something. I don't know. e5, f6. Also an option, trying to stop this bishop a bit. Okay, seems to be a decent move. Maybe queen g3, f6. Oh wait, that's not allowed. Oops, forgot about that. Maybe. Well, now you have to be careful that you don't hang your pawn as well. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Maybe you can do this and then push again. Yeah, but who can say? I guess you can't right now because this would be hanging. Yeah, whatever. Complicated stuff. Apparently good for white. Then Tom, who had a great win in round 2 against some GM from Israel, and then lost unfortunately yesterday. So let's see what's happening here. So more Italians. Okay, I don't know. This looks kind of nice for black. You just have a bit more space, everything else being pretty similar. I mean, I guess the pawn structure is maybe a little bit more solid for white. These are maybe attackable eventually, but it's not so easy. Okay, apparently not a good move, this one. d4. Okay, and now we have a nice position as black. That makes a lot of sense. I finally understand something. And then here you can probably just take. You didn't do that though. Queen c6. I guess you're afraid of this. But okay, you don't have any tricks for now because you can't take here hoping for back rank because you get back ranked first. And you can't go here, here, and take this pawn because again, your back rank is still weak. So maybe you're gonna have to go here. Like this, something like this. Looks pretty decent for black because, well, you do have these double pawns. Maybe they're not so good. And you're gonna lose this one. Maybe it's not that great. Computer still thinks it's better, but maybe he was afraid of something in these lines. Or maybe he was seeing something in this one. Okay, so e takes. Doesn't seem to be favored, so I mean we can take here now. And you can't take here because of check, I guess. Yeah. So actually this looks nice as well. Maybe white missed that you can't take here because of check and takes. This looks a bit tough now. Where do you go? If you go back, this is still hanging. If you do this, it's hanging anyway. Unclear if you want to take here or here. I mean, I guess I would take with the queen just so we remain, or this pawn remains a passed pawn, and it can be supported with another pawn. But here we get control of the e file, which is also nice. So who knows? Yeah. So yeah, looks kind of good for Tom. Hopefully he'll take home the win. So actually all the games are looking good so far. And David on board 4. Actually, he's been playing all the rounds, I think. All 4 rounds so far. Okay. Russell Limo. Okay, apparently. Oh wow, okay. Very tricky. So here, instead of, just playing h3 and taking back and playing it sort of normal, he came up with something very cute. Queen d2, protecting the bishop, attacking this, and threatening this. Well, not, this. So after bishop takes f3, played e6, and now, okay, I mean, you have to move your queen somewhere. Okay, so opponent went to c8, and now I guess you can't take here, because then the knight would take, and then you're no longer, well, I mean, you could, I guess. You could take here, and then take here, but that doesn't really seem too appealing. So I guess you should take here. And now, I mean, you can either take back or take here. Maybe this just makes like a simplifying draw here. You take, and then, I don't know, you take here or here. And then, okay, can maybe take here, because if take the rook, you take this rook. I don't know, very complicated. Thank you for the follow, La Victoire de Cléopâtre. Wow, very fancy, very fancy. French is always fancy to me. Okay, so apparently some moves were played. So bishop takes e4, rook takes, and f5, okay. And now we can either go back, I think that's what he did, or we can go over here, try to get some attacks started. So we went to e2, rook f6. Okay, and you're not quite in time to play this. So I guess you have to protect your pawn first. And now probably you have to take, otherwise this is coming. That would be bad for black. So you take now, and takes, and okay, this was all played actually. f4 and f3, queen f8. Were they just playing quickly, or was this played the whole time? Who knows? Queen h4, queen g7, rook e5, rook f8. Okay, I mean, probably we're going to trade off all the pieces somehow and make a draw. Just a little bit worried, because pawn endgame might actually be losing, so you have to keep something on. Because, let's say you trade everything. How do you trade everything? I don't know. Let's say all of the pieces were gone for a second. Let's say these are all gone. And the pawn structure remains the same. Black can merge his king, play g5. Well, actually, you don't have to play g5, maybe. You can just merge your king and pick up this pawn, and you're going to win. So, yeah, that's going to be something to be wary of. So it's not quite as simple as trading everything and being okay. Yeah, so who knows what's going to happen. Hope that is held, but okay, everyone else seems to be doing quite well, so might not even matter. But okay, let's quickly go back to the games in for our favorite team in the tournament. Trisha was doing quite well. Let's see what happened after she won the pawn. Okay, she did go rook d7. Opponent took. Now we're just up a clean pawn pretty much. There's no real attack here. I mean, this is not a thing. You're controlling c8 quite well. Maybe you can even play like bishop a6 and come around if you really wanted to. Now let's see what she did. Rook d8 makes a ton of sense. h4. And that's it so far. So, okay. One move that we can think about is this, but I don't think it quite works. Because we do go here and here, here and here and here, and maybe not. Actually, maybe that trades too much. Okay, computer thinks it's equal. Slightly better still. It's a tempting move, you know, when you're up a pawn. Even though they say all rook endgames are wrong. Okay, so oh yeah, that's not of course it. Oh, never mind. You just go here, here, and here. And you're just in time. Actually, I mean, I was wondering if you could do anything here, but apparently not. Apparently this is nothing. Hello, Dom Miraco 17. Oh, 17. That's me. Wonderful. Hello, hello. So yeah, Trisha probably won't do this. The rook endgame is a bit too drawish. Although I have confidence that she could pull it out anyway. I'm always very biased in favor of higher rated players in these sorts of situations. Especially, I think Trisha, she's very solid fundamentally. She doesn't, play the flashiest games usually, but she's a grinder. And she is good at converting such things. Okay, Tosh apparently not as lost as she once was. What happened here? This was looking like complete death earlier. Okay, this actually all happened. The line that we thought. And we said this looks over. Okay, rook takes c2. Take on c6. I mean, everything is kind of falling apart. Queen c4 is coming. So how did this not end up? This bishop is just so much better than this one. It's actually kind of funny. And then, I mean, you have this bishop for good measure. Okay, so knight. Okay, knight b4. Check. And thank you for the follow, Cabrownie Beats. Yeah, this is Diana's channel, but Diana's not playing today. We're still doing commentary on the Irish women's team at the Olympiad. And I mean, I guess, other teams as well. If anybody has any interesting games, feel free to show them. Also the Irish Open team, of course, as well. Don't want to neglect them. So, what's the move here? Apparently not what white played here. Sorry, what did you play? So rook c5, not it. Because of rook c2. Okay, well, that's a kind of a giveaway. So I guess because rook c5 allowed rook c2, that suggests to me that we should be taking this. I'm not allowing rook c2. Okay, computer seems to agree. Okay, not so easy then. It looked really, really bad, but maybe it wasn't trivial. I mean, it was lost, but maybe not as trivially lost as I would have thought. Now, here, one question is, can you play rook c8? Probably not. I mean, you do want to keep queens on. Here, 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 here. And then actually maybe it's black who has the dangerous pass pawn. So yeah, you want to keep queens on. So maybe queen c5, targeting this pawn. Once this one falls, you have this one, and you're threatening mate. Did restream work? Yes, it did, but nobody's following me, so it worked on a fundamental level, but not on a, not on a, like on a technical level it worked, but not on a goals achieved sort of level. But that's okay. You followed. Okay, it did work. Kjol followed. You got the postcards. Yes, good. So everyone, if you want one of the postcards that Diana got with, I don't know, a message from her from the Olympiad, and also signature of a famous player, then all you have to do is subscribe at tier 3. And yeah, give your address, I guess, or wherever you want the postcard to be sent. And that's going to be that. You're going to get a lovely postcard. Diana might do a little doodle on them if you're lucky. Might be very expensive artwork. Oh yeah, if you have player requests for a particular autograph, you can also let us know about that one. Otherwise, you're just going to get a surprise one. Diana has very good taste in GMs, though, so in GM autographs, I should say. So that would be all up to you if you want that or this. Okay, okay, I guess you have rook e5, which just saves you, kind of barely, maybe, and then game goes on, I suppose. How's the team doing? Well, doing okay now, I guess. But Tosh, I mean, she was really dead lost earlier. Now, maybe it's fine. Slightly worse, apparently. I didn't look at this position yet. I just looked at this position so far. Okay, so she went for this line. Interesting. So this is going to be the situation where white is up a pawn, but you have a pretty good passed pawn yourself, and this bishop's gonna, I don't know, I mean, if it ever wants to do anything, it's gonna have to take. And yeah, it's gonna be opposite color bishops, so maybe pretty good holding chances for black. You passed by the good food place. Which one? Which good one? Okay, let's see. Lara was doing well earlier. Yeah, she's still doing well. I mean, her opponent played a disastrous opening. I don't know, and then we ended in this kind of position where this looks like a French where you traded off your bishop, but everything else went wrong for you. As wrong as it could go. You're down like a million tempi. So this looks like Lara's gonna crush. That would be important in case Tosh loses. Trisha is up a pawn, but it's not super easy to convert. She's been thinking. She's probably thinking about going into this rook endgame with bishop d3. But we thought that's not so easy. And maybe you're going to lose your pawn back and not really have much of an advantage. Alice has been having a weird kind of game. I mean, weird not by her standards, because her games often look like this. Okay, and apparently it was looking quite good for her opponent. But f5 is a bit much. It's a bit much. Alice is Alicing her opponents. Alice's trademark move is f4, and now her opponent is doing the reverse. The f5er. I'm not sure what was the best move here. Why is black clearly better? What kind of good food? I don't know. Last time we were in Hungary, in Budapest, we had, I would say, more than one kind of good food, so we'd need to specify. Anyway, what was the move here, darlings? What was the move for black to get a clear advantage? Oh, miso ramen. Yeah, I do remember that one. That's very good. Oh yeah, oh that was really good. And I'm thinking back now, that was really good. The ramen was excellent. The ramen was excellente. Excellentovich. Okay, I don't know. Was it bishop takes? Yes, nobody understands why. There have just been some situations in which this is a good move, and I don't know when. I don't know how to tell when that's good and when it's not. No clue whatsoever. What does this even allow us to do? Like, why is this a thing? So, rook a8, but we couldn't do rook a8 earlier. It's not good now. Because of? I mean, must be moving the knight somewhere, I guess. Maybe this, this, and then here. Okay, but this is this is pretty ridiculous. Nobody understands what's happening. Go back exploring. Okay, good luck. Find some good food for yourself. Keep some until I come. Keep it in your minibar fridge. Okay, so Alice is thinking. Oh, never mind. Alice did play something. She played knight to f4. Okay, makes some sense. Now, I guess no. I mean, this is defended. I was gonna say you need to be careful as black. Maybe drop it back, but actually it's defended, so you're fine. So then you could just take if you wanted to, but then you are activating this bishop. So this is the reason why I don't like f5. Just let's say independently of what else is happening in the position. This bishop, we were saying, this bishop is good, and this one is, well, I mean, okay, this bishop is decent, and this bishop is bad. But now after f5, this bishop's going to be reasonably good, and this bishop, I mean, maybe it's not going to get worse if you take eventually, but like, also not great. It's not getting better. So now you basically, I don't know, took your advantage away. Not usually something you want to do when you're trying to win. So yeah, we'll have to see how the team does. So far, a bit of a struggle bus. Let's look at some open section games. Ukraine against US. Robson has been playing every game so far. He seems to be in trouble now against somebody we have an ambivalent relationship with here on the channel, Mr. Korobov. Okay, it looks nice, I guess. A lot of space on the queen side. Apparently, this seems to have been no good at all for Robson. He gets very low on time. He's a bit of a time travel addict as well. They have 2 on the team. They have Dominguez and Robson. So I guess the advantage is not as big as it once was, but still pretty substantial. So yeah, that would be exciting. Would put some pressure on the other boards of the US to do something and to win the games. Wesley So not famous for his winning tendencies. A bit of a drawish reputation. And Dominguez, I don't know. He has that reputation as well in sort of super GM tournaments, but maybe not so much in others. Let's see Ivanchuk on board 2. He yesterday got a bit unlucky and hung a full piece in time trouble in a completely equal position. Okay, so some sort of Nimzo Indian. H4. Rook H3, okay. Theme of the day yesterday, the rook lift. Oh wow, and okay, now we are fishing poling. Doing a bit of the fishing pole trap. So if you take, you're in trouble maybe. I guess you can just develop and, you know, you're alive because then you get your queen out of the way. If you didn't have this move, then you would get mated, but yeah, so you get the queen out of the way, so maybe you survive this. I mean, this is kind of crazy, but of course you won't go for, or you didn't go for that. Oh wow, apparently this is not solid though. Computer really likes black. Oh, not as much anymore. A lot again. Okay, I mean, I guess this is an interesting approach, because now that I think about it, why didn't we play bishop c3? There it blockades the pawn. It seems like a nicer diagonal. I mean, the only reason to go to e3 is, I guess, that it's opposite the queen, and maybe it's aiming at h6, but I don't know how relevant that is right now. So this seemed, I don't know, a lot more intuitive, bishop c3. And I think it would have been better, I guess, because, yeah, that seemed to have been the correct move. Ivanchuk with a fancy play syndrome. He did, or Wesley tried to make use of it, immediately playing c3. Queen takes. But apparently this is fine again. Okay, now you're coming back around, going to the diagonal maybe that you really wanted to go to. You're at least protecting this pawn. Maybe also you can stay here. And it just looks a bit odd for white. All the pieces are sort of very strangely placed. I mean, not all of them. I guess these 3 pieces make sense, and these 2 pieces don't make sense. I mean, maybe this rook can just play rook g3, then it's fine, but this bishop, you're going to have to work a little bit harder to bring that into the game. So yeah, bishop a6 was played. Now you can think about this, or you can trade, but this looks like an ugly structure. But you do have two bishops, so even if your structure in the endgame might not be perfect, you might be able to do something, especially if these pawns remain on the board. Now, two bishops versus two knights on the same side of the board, when black has a good structure and white has a terrible structure, that might be tough. But when there's pawns on two sides of the board, the bishops are usually much stronger. So yeah, interesting stuff. Both are not too rich on time. Rich, doesn't really, I don't know. Okay, let's look at Italy, who yesterday upset the Netherlands, beating them 3-1, I think. Winning 3 games, only losing on board 2, where Jordan Van Forest had a nice game. But Anish got kind of crushed by Lodici. And by the way, they didn't even play their... Vocaturo didn't even play. Their top board didn't even play in the game, I think. This makes it even funnier. Maybe they just had Lodici prepare something special against Anish and he maybe felt confident and wanted to target him. But I don't know why else they wouldn't have played their top board. Maybe they were so confident they would win. They didn't even need him. I don't know. Also yesterday, Germany lost to Lithuania in a pretty silly way, to be honest. Keimer overpushed and, well, not even overpushed, but like didn't simplify into a draw when he could have, and then lost. Then Svane grinded out an endgame win, and then Donchenko was winning, and then somehow lost the game in the end. It's a bit unfortunate for Germany. Losing to Lithuania there. Now stuck in Elo hell with the likes of the Netherlands. Okay, Lecco, my personal favorite player to watch at the Olympiad. I mean, everybody's just playing e4, e5. They're taunting me. Stop doing it. Play anything else, please. Okay. Black seems to have sort of an attacking setup, but white doesn't care. I would be a little bit intimidated by this whole thing. You can do this and this. I don't know. Who knows? Okay, knight f6 doesn't seem to have been good. I can also play rook d8 with tempo. But I don't know. Maybe the queen has a good square. Okay, and apparently here, this is not good at all. But this was not the move. Okay, who knows? Who knows what's going on? Now it seems to be good for white, but I don't... I mean, okay, I do kind of understand that maybe now that doesn't look so scary anymore. This looks pretty safe now, actually, for black. For white, sorry. And now this bishop's maybe not as good either. So I actually do kind of understand why this maybe took a turn. Although bishop can come to e6. That's a decent square. This is kind of a weakness, but... Oh, never mind. I forgot that the bishop's here. So actually, you can't play bishop e6. Okay, bishop d3. Actually, maybe you can play bishop e6, because after this, yeah, apparently it doesn't work. Because you take, and then either you attack or worse. Oh no, no, you can't do that. So probably you play g3. For a second, I thought you could take on a2, but actually you can take on a6. So g3, accidentally stumbled. Wrong calculation, but right. Right move. Yeah. Okay. So interesting game for Lecco. How about my other favorite player? Richie seems to be doing well. Let's see if he does the signature rook lift this game. Probably not. This doesn't look like the game for it. For him, it's more of a Sicilian maneuver. Okay. Gives up a pawn here. At least temporarily. To chase the queen around a bit. And apparently, that wasn't the right way to go. Knight g4. And okay, now I guess black has slightly strange coordination. I say slightly, quite strange coordination. The queen doesn't have any squares, so it can't go anywhere. Knight can always come to f5 if it wants to. Yeah, this looks nice because, I mean, this rook can't even move too easily because you're going to lose b7. Not looking too good for our man Ukaturo. Oh, okay, apparently game ended just now. Hungary up 1-0 against Italy. Shugarov winning. This was probably like an Idorf or something. Yeah. Oh, like a Dragadorf. Okay. Now, I mean, you get the sort of dragon attack, even though it was an Idorf. Always dangerous. Actually, though, queen h5. Ah, but I guess queen can just come back. Ooh, didn't play it. Okay, now no longer queen h5. Okay, now you're getting crushed. Ooh, and he just resigned because, yeah, I mean, everything's coming in. Whoopsie. Whoopsie, 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 whoopsie. Yeah, that's tough. You hate the feeling when you get mated like that. Also, it's 21 moves, so ouch. Not a good feeling to lose a game like that. It's happened. I even hate this when it happens to me in Blitz. It's just like, ugh, it feels so unfair, you know. They just play the simple moves, and somehow something doesn't work with your defense, and it didn't feel like they had to even think. You just got mated with just their little silly thing going on. Ding! My God. Can you just not win a game? Like, come on, please. Win a game, for goodness sake. Okay, it seems like nothing at all happened. It's sad. I heard earlier somebody said that if Ding loses this game, he'll be lower rated than Hans Niemann in Classical. So I don't know if that's true, but if it is, it's kind of interesting. Maybe Hans will have something to say about that. Fascinating stuff. Okay, India. One draw so far. Okay, so we're not making a draw with black. That's not bad. Not a bad start. Although, of course, Gukesh and Ergaisi don't seem to care whether they have black or white, they just win every game anyway. Example A, or exhibit rather. Exhibit A. There we go, you just... I don't know how this happens, you know? This doesn't happen. Like, he just plays like a freaking machine, and people stand no chance at all. And it's a bit unfair, and India wins every game. Who knows? But apparently he got completely destroyed. Ooh, knight takes c3. Because you're gonna get forked. Tough. And if you take, you lose your queen. Okay, it's probably gonna resign, one would imagine. This looks pretty over. Oh, Uzbekistan against Vietnam. That's an interesting match. Another one of my low-key favorites, Le Quang Liem. 2741, by the way. He's insane. I don't know why he never gets to play any classical events. It's very stupid. Like any, you know, closed events. Like maybe less Aronian, less Dominguez, more Wei Yi and Le Quang Liem, I would say, but maybe that's just me. Or definitely less Wesley, so he just makes draws every game. Okay, well, nothing's gonna happen here, I would assume. Although they're playing on, I don't know. Maybe it's not so simple. I mean, White's not, King is a lot more active, I suppose. So maybe you can hope for something. Who knows? Somebody offered me a draw here. I'd probably take it. Okay, and Indich resigned. So 1-0 India, or 1.5 India, I guess. That's okay. So Dingleran and Wei Yi both making draws against Armenia. But okay, they do have two more 2700s, or basically 2700s playing, so I guess they think they're in safe hands, which might be true. Oh, Lithuania against Poland. Duda seems to be crushing it, seems to be doing well again. I think he's won every game so far. Okay, seems to have been struggling here at some point. Ooh, seems to have been lost here at some point. Ah, queen trade. No. I guess maybe Duda was, maybe he was afraid of this. I don't know. Okay, who knows? But queen trade is not it. Although it is said that Sicilian endgames are often good, this does not seem to be one of those cases with these not so great pawns. Ooh, Tyr apparently dying. No. Okay, you're just down 2 pawns. I mean, not the best 2 pawns, but 2 pawns are 2 pawns, as they say. I have to scroll a bit to reach Germany. I kind of want to take a look, but maybe first. Bless me. Maybe first, let's have a look back at the Irish women's team. See how they're doing. Okay, so we left it here. Trisha, oh, here we left it actually. Trisha did not go for bishop d3 correctly, I believe. Okay, bishop g2. Okay, it's eval's going a bit crazy, but who knows what's happening. Okay, now white wants to trade off the bishops, which is interesting because this bishop seems to be a lot more useful than this one, especially because like black would kind of be interested in trading, I think, but can't manage it because it can't go to the long diagonal so easily. But now white volunteers. Easy game for Trisha now. I mean, not easy as in easy to convert, but like pretty risk-free and hard to mess up the advantage, I think. Hello again. Hello, Mersey Wursey. Hard to mess up the advantage now, I think, because you're just a solid pawn up, and now without the bishop, it's hard to get anything going. How's it going? Well, Trisha's doing good. Tasha's now somehow winning, and Laura's winning, so I guess it's going well. I don't know what happened here. I looked away to some top boards for a bit, and then suddenly I come back. Well, I was saying that this pawn is a thing. Okay, and white panicked a little bit. I guess it makes, I mean, you know, the bishop is kind of locked in, but also the knight can't really move without freeing it, so it's kind of a trade-off. But now, I still don't see how you lose it precisely as white, because you can just put your bishop here and do this or something. I don't know. Like b3, and how do you ever lose? I don't understand. But okay, b3. d2. Well, yeah, that's interesting because now, I mean, that was maybe a plan that shouldn't be mixed. You could have done it here maybe, but not later when you also spent tempo on b3 and now the pawn's already on d2. And now you're gonna get hit with this, I think. Yes. Okay, now bishop comes back, and that's unfortunate for white. Okay, so how do you win though? It's a bit unfortunate that nothing can move. This bishop can always stay on this diagonal. How do you untangle? How can you even try to untangle as white? You can play bishop d1, king g2, f3, and then maybe this, and takes, and go here. But does it even do anything? You go back, and then you have to go back. So that doesn't even work. That's just sacrificing a pawn for nothing. So actually, you're forever tied down here as white. Sorry. So this is probably game over, realistically. So how can you ever get over now? I don't think there's a way. I don't think there's a way. If Tosh just plays it patiently, just not rushing would be good enough, I think. Bring your king in and then see what's going on, just to be safe, you know. Okay, engine doesn't love this move, but I can't imagine this being a problem. Probably g4, just to keep, you know, the squares open. I don't know, this seems like the computer doesn't think this is so bad. I don't understand it personally. So what about here? And then can't I just walk over and like what could happen? I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. Hey, Jim Shacko. Yeah, not really sure at all. Okay, she played g3. Sorry, h3. How's the rest day going, Diana? How's the rest day going, I said. Chat is curious. I'm aware. Calm yourself. Hilarious that you said that at the same time. Well, you know, smarties think alike or whatever. Nutella langosh. My goodness. Without me. Rude. Okay, let's look at Alice's game for a sec. Wait, what? Okay, here. Let's look at Alice's game for a sec. This game has been mad. It's been going up and down. Nobody understands what's happening. Okay, so we played b5 here. I assume she wanted... I don't know why. I don't know why we did that. Maybe it's not easy to find other moves. Yeah. Okay, so b5. Kind of shutting down everything. And then... Oh, what? We took with the pawn. Why do we hate our bishop so much? Why do we hate our bishop so much? We should have just taken with the bishop, I believe. Now everything is safe. This weakness is taken care of, so we don't need to keep our queen around forever. And I don't really get it. Like, it looks more active here as well. Instead, taking with the pawn, now we have, I don't know, like 2 weaknesses for the price of 1. And our bishop is worse than before. So that's confusing. Anyway, let's switch over to the final game. By the way, exclam postcard. If anybody wants a postcard from Diana, from the Olympiad, with a message and a signature of some top players or a top player, then all you need to do is subscribe on tier 3 so we can get enough sub points. Well, helping us in on our quest to get enough sub points to get a better revenue share on Twitch, which would be fantastic. More money of your subscriptions would go to Diana instead of Jeff Bezos, who really doesn't need it, whereas Diana can buy lovely food from it and enjoy her life, and also pay rent and go to places to make content. So all the good stuff that you like is enabled by money in Diana's pockets. That is the way, and yeah, you will get a beautiful postcard for the support, which I think is a great deal. Even just paying for the signature and a personal message, I know which of those two are better. I hope you guys know as well. That should be a good deal, I think. So head on over, subscribe tier 3, and let us know which GM, or well, which player, I guess it doesn't have to be a GM, you would like a signature from. And Diana will make, well, not guarantee maybe, but we'll try to make sure that you get that one. Yeah, that is the public service announcement for the day. Actually, that's one of them. Every day that Diana plays, she will do recap videos of her games. So exclam recaps in chat. That's her YouTube channel. So you can find the recaps of the past 3 rounds there. And tomorrow, when she plays again, you will find the next one. They're great to watch, so definitely give them a look, comment, and all that, so everybody gets to share in the Diana goodness. Yeah, wonderful stuff. Okay, so Lara is completely winning, by the way. Is it available for Ukraine? I believe, I mean, as long as it's possible to send post there at the moment. I don't know. I mean, some regions that might be tough, but I would imagine that, you know, in most regions that should work. You'd have to, I don't know, tell us if that's possible. But as long as postcards can reach you, we will be able to send you one. So I think it should work. Oh, and Lara, okay, her opponent resigned in view of if you take, what's the best way? Queen g5 or taking, and then queen g5. Anyway, something's going to happen on the square, and it's not going to be pretty. So opponent gave it up. Yeah, that was just a disastrous opening, and Lara played it very nicely. Well done. So 1-0 for Team Ireland. Looking good. How about Trisha's game? Is she converting? I mean, I trust her with this. She has no time right now, but she just needs to make a couple of moves, get into the next time control, and then she should convert this. Now, okay, interesting question. Interesting question. Queen takes, and what about here? Like, what's happening in this one? Because black's up a pawn, but you know, rook end games, not so easy. And if you're not careful, if you play something like this, I think you might instantly be not winning anymore. Yeah, so you gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. If you trade too many pawns, there's not gonna be winning. And yeah, if the white rook can get active like this. So actually white, who had plenty of time, I don't know how long she spent on this. According to chess.com, here she spent 1 minute and 37 seconds. I think if you think about this, you should believe that you have much better chances. Go Lara, yes. Let's go Lara. Woohoo! That you have much better chances of holding this in a rook end game than in a queen and rook end game. But okay, I think even just a queen endgame wouldn't be good in this situation for white here. Queen endgames sometimes have the tendency to be a bit drawish because there's lots of perpetuals and stuff. But here it's really white's king that's a bit unsafe. And if white ever loses an additional pawn, I think there's no chance you ever hold the queen endgame. Maybe I'm wrong about this though. Anyway, I'm pretty sure you should have traded while you had the chance. Okay, ignore the computer. It's just saying random things. Okay. I don't know. Oh, hold on for a second. So queen c2. If you go back, you're gonna. Actually, nah, it's fine, I guess. I mean, I don't know. The thing is, whenever white can trade queens, I think white might have good chances to draw, but we'll see. But okay, We'll see what Trisha's opponent comes up with. I think she has 5 more. Well, I mean, to be honest, it's not that easy to. Hold on 1 second. People are knocking at my door. Let's see what's happening here. Ja. Oh, will das kurz wegschmeißen? Ich weiß nicht, also wegschmeißen. Ja, wegschmeißen, ja. Okay, sorry. Brief intermission. One of our ex-roommates is coming by to collect his stuff. Needed some information. Oh, this has not been played. Anyway, our opponent's thinking for now. Let's see if Tosh is converting. Okay. Rook h1. I guess our opponent just plans to not move for the rest of the game and see what happens. I don't know. Reasonable strategy, I suppose, because what else can you really do? You can't move anything. A bit unfortunate, really, if you're her. I mean, I guess you could put your bishop. Actually, I would play bishop c2, try to bait, try to set up a bit of bait. So here, for example, if you play bishop c2, and then black sort of loses her mind a little bit and plays this one, now you're like bishop d1 and we're fine, more or less. Apparently not quite fine, but this would be the trick that I'm going for if I'm white. So to sort of, you know, get the rook on the wrong side. Not that it should work, but then you can at least move your pieces again, which would be an improvement. Thank you for the follow, Simanas Moyad. Kumanas Moyad? Whatever. Some variation of this. That would be my approach. Maybe she wants to, I don't know. CM Anas Moyat. Oh, a CM. Oh, Tong Tong. Hello. How are you doing, Tong Tong? How are you doing? How is life? Wait, why is this a first time chat? Did you make a new account or what's happening? How are you, Tong Tong? All right. Well, how's Bulgaria? They're in Hungary, not Bulgaria. I guess. By the way, Rook h1 was her own variation of a trap, so I guess she was hoping for this, and then this. But I mean, that was never going to happen. So I don't know. Hello from Stella too. Hey Stella. Hello. So I guess Rook h1 also could be considered one of those tricks. But I mean, the problem is this is just gonna happen and there's nothing you can do about it. So you need to go for your tricks sooner rather than later. I think the last trick you have is this, although I'm not even sure if it works anymore. I guess it doesn't even work anymore. Maybe the king is too close now. Because if you do this now, yeah, it doesn't appear to work anymore. Because your pieces are now too awkward. Anyway, Tasha wouldn't have allowed that anyway. She's got too much time to fall for such things. Okay, Lara, by the way, okay, we already said that she won. Let's take a look at Alice's game. This has been kind of a mad one. Nobody understood what's going on. She took with the pawn here. Definitely didn't understand that one. but apparently seems to be holding on. Okay, I mean, her rook got to the back rank. Now if we get our queen in as well, that's a bit much to ask for, I understand. You can always block it anyway, but... Okay, black took. Okay, now... Okay, our position... I mean, okay, we still don't want to go in an endgame. Any endgame would still be awful for white. So definitely can't trade queens. Okay, queen c1. Going quite far away. Okay, I said that. I said... didn't... Okay, hold on. I guess it's not quite accurate. We don't want to trade queens and rooks. So it's fine as long as we have one of the two, because these pawns are very weak to the rook as well. And you can't do everything at once. So for example, here, trade. So the queens are off. I said that wouldn't be good, but actually, I guess you can put enough pressure because this knight can't go too far. Because you can always put pressure here and then the knight needs to come back to defend. And the king isn't fast enough to move in, I suppose, because you do have a bit of a blockade here on the light squares. But I mean, it's not all the way simple. It's not all the way simple, but okay, apparently doable. I'd still be scared for white here, honestly. But I was definitely also very scared for her yesterday, for Alice. And she held that one. So I believe in her. Or maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should say, oh, I'm worried. And then she'll hold it easily. Okay, so they're just moving around. I think Trisha's just, you know, waiting to get to move 40 before she does anything. So what is the right plan for black? I assume that you sort of switch around the pieces. Like you get your queen maybe to d7. Then you put your rook on d2. And then you put your queen on d4 and try to target these things. Something like that maybe. While hopefully keeping your other pawns alive. You can maybe put the pawns here as well. Yeah, I think Trisha will manage this if she has any time at all, and she'll get 30 extra minutes. 3 moves from now, so I think that should be a win, and we're already up 1-0 in the match, so that's boding well. It looked a little bit scary earlier when Trisha and Alice both didn't have any advantage, and Tosh was losing, and it might have been like an equal match, but now Tosh is just dead winning. I don't know what can even be done. I mean, king is just gonna run in, and that's gonna be it. That is gonna be that. That's gonna be that. Magnus, by the way, already won. Let's look at Magnus's game, just for kicks. 28 moves. Oh, he played this weird line where he took with the knight. Apparently this is engine recommendation. Just looked a bit odd. Maybe it's normal. Okay, and you're already much better here. I don't know how he does it. He's a bit of a, like, I don't know. He's the one player from the, let's say, old guard. I guess Fabiano quite consistently beats people as well. So I guess Fabiano, Magnus, and then there's like these other, the kids that beat everyone, like Gukesh, Erigaisi, maybe up to Satorov. Ooh, pawn takes. Wow. Okay, and I mean, knight's threatening to take here. How is that a mistake? Who the frick knows? And I guess I could have seen this being a good move. Also doesn't seem to be right. I don't know what is right here. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway. This doesn't work. I guess. Just trade and go here, I suppose. And now you're unfortunately... it looks like white's king is in a dicey position, but actually it's just black's king who's in trouble. Because white has just much better pieces. I mean, it's also got an extra piece for a couple of pawns, which helps in the attack. And now you're going to have trouble defending your back rank. Oops. Okay, that's it. Your bishop's going to fall if you play something like this, for example. And yeah, that's going to be that. So well done by Magnus, I suppose. Not altogether shocking that he won. Spain has already defeated Sweden. Norway may be in trouble on board 2. So Slovakia still with some chances maybe. And Norway, if they lose now, they already made a draw. They're going to be lagging a bit. Ooh, Badur Jabava winning against Luke McShane already. That is very helpful in their quest to beat England. I think England drew yesterday. Oh, Badur Jabava playing the Jabava London. Fantastic. Okay, apparently it was completely winning here. Missed something. Had to re-win. Looked very convincing though. Optically, looked like white was dominating the whole game. Not that I was really paying super much attention. Okay, I mean, played on for a while, but now you're losing everything. So wow. Okay, Ponomarev Dominguez was a draw. I guess Carana's now winning. Oh yeah, I mean, yes, 3 connected pass pawns and an extra exchange. Korobov was doing well against Robson earlier, but now apparently let it slip a little bit. It's a plus 3.5. King d2 not correct. Who the frick knows? That's deep. It's very deep. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you're in the range of this at some point. I don't know why else that might be bad. But I mean, still looks... I mean, let's say you take. I mean, white is still up. Oh, okay, you don't take. White is still up in exchange. But maybe these things are too weak. And the king is close enough maybe to create counterplay. I'm not sure. I don't know. Very complicated one. Hungary. How about Hungary? Up 1.5 half. Our report is winning, so I guess it doesn't matter. Even if Lecco were to lose. So report. Winning a kind of clean game for once. Yeah, now, I mean, knight endgames resemble pawn endgames. So an extra pawn that's also an outside passed pawn, that's too much to hope for. No chance to hold. Okay, speaking of no chance to hold, let's see what has been going on in tossed game. Yeah, king is just running in. Okay, now we even traded rooks. And of course, king could just come in and do whatever it wants. Okay, I don't know why we took that, but okay, doesn't matter, of course. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter if we do this or took. It doesn't. Nothing matters here. We just run in and promote. Is the point? Is the point? It's nice that these pawns are, controlled on the same diagonal. Bit unfortunate for white, really. She was dead winning for a long time. Well, let's say a reasonable amount of time in this game. So yeah. Good thing Tosh won. Oh, Alice in trouble though. She's not. Wait, how we? Wait, why does black have a queen against a rook? Oh man. Okay, I guess we didn't get to create counterplay. Thought that was the idea. She went back to defend the pawn. Yeah. I mean, also, it was a bit passive. Maybe rook f7 now, or rook e7. And now, I mean, you're just tied down and this bishop's useless, so all your pieces are useless right now. Yeah, rook f7 makes a ton of sense. I mean, you can even play rook f2 here because of this. That would have just won immediately, I think. But h4, h5, bishop h1, I mean, tough. Yeah, okay, and now you're just losing your queen because you can't step up because that's gonna be checkmate. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Oh man, okay, that means, I guess Trisha's never gonna lose, so it doesn't matter as much for the score, for the match, but it does matter for the score, and also, I mean, it's always just nice for everyone to win. It's good for, motivation and stuff. It always doesn't feel good to lose against someone lower rated. 1600. But okay, Alice will bounce back. She's obviously incredibly strong. Hasn't had the greatest tournament so far, but I don't doubt that she'll get a good couple of wins against strong players in this tournament. Yeah, so this game, okay, Trisha finally managed to get to time control. Okay, apparently we blundered here. This is apparently no good. No bueno. Why is that? Almost drawn at this point. What's the move? Maybe queen a4. You're threatening queen e8, and you're also threatening queen a7. E8, sorry. E8 and a7. So queen a4. If takes, do we have this? No. Maybe. Maybe taking on a7 is better for some reason. I mean, I would have instinctively, because that weakens the king and makes it more likely for us to get perpetual, but maybe it's just more important to eliminate the pawns. Although, here, why is this a thing? I would think this makes it worse for white. I guess check here. Don't really understand it. Here. I guess we can't do this, otherwise we run into some perpetuals. Potentially. So what if we take queen f7? Is this really really drawable? Okay, apparently. I mean, I was saying that, yeah, our king now gets much weaker to all these perpetual ideas. So that might have been a bullet dodged for Trisha. Okay, now rook b5. Apparently there's a good move here as well. I mean, queen e7 must be the move, because that's the only thing that makes sense. Because then we threaten this. Otherwise we just lose here. So queen e7. Can we defend this pawn even? Is there anything we can do? I don't know if that's savable. I think at this point we might have to trade. So queen... Oh, no, sorry. Wait, that was losing? Oh yeah, because we're hanging a rook, okay. Okay, so... And this is not good. Apparently... I guess it's queen a7 again. It's just now in the similar kind of position. I guess it's the same position, actually. Where this and this, and then here and here. And it's fine. Not easy at all, apparently, this position. I really thought that it would have been easier than it was. But it's very tricky endgame to actually convert a pawn up. This is a good lesson, actually, for everyone watching. That often in when transitioning into endgames, or like when you have the chance to maybe, or when you're maybe in danger of losing a pawn, and the only way to defend against losing a pawn is like to play an ugly move that's really going to make you suffer positionally, that it's a very good idea to instead sacrifice a pawn and remain active and improve your pieces, and then you might end up in a situation like this where you're definitely suffering, but it's incredibly tricky to convert. You can definitely put up a ton of resistance, as Trisha's opponent is doing. Also, by the way, we haven't for a long time... so Hungary's going to win, by the way. We haven't for a long time looked at the Open team, the Irish Open team. Oh no, David is losing. What happened here? We were thinking earlier it was looking quite good in this Rossolimo. No, actually we were thinking that it was looking quite drawish in this Rossolimo. And we were saying that you'd have to be careful not to trade everything off, to keep at least some pieces on the board, otherwise the king's gonna run in and win your pawn and win the game. So yeah, that's what he did for now. Okay, looks so far so good. Queen could maybe get active, maybe like, I don't know, queen b2 or something like that. Okay, queen e2 instead, makes sense. Well, sorry, queen c2 I meant. Queen b1 was the idea. And then I was thinking maybe we can like sacrifice this pawn for activity, queen a8 or something like that. Coming in here, coming in, here, that kind of thing. Okay, so he played c4. Okay, getting rid of this pressure makes some sense. And here, again, I think we need to be careful. If we play something like b3 here, I think we might be losing. b3, because then everything gets traded, or we lose this pawn, and if everything gets traded, we lose this pawn anyway. So, okay, took. Now, queen endgame could be also tricky, because this pawn is still gonna fall, I believe. I don't really see what we're doing. But we do have counterplay with these pawns, although this pawn's also sort of dangerous. So I definitely can see how this might be tough to play. And okay, apparently this is already a mistake. Queen b2. I mean, I guess it doesn't put pressure on this pawn. It gives black a move. Sorry, it does. It does. Never mind. It does put pressure on the pawn. So actually, I don't know why. I guess you take here, and then afterwards you're pushing. Sorry, no, you go here. No. Maybe you go here, and then afterwards you're pushing? Who knows? Okay, queen d3, also nice, I guess. And then you're going here, and then you're pushing. That makes sense, because this pawn's actually kind of irrelevant. I don't know why I was so fixated on it. Okay, trying to create your own passed pawn. Makes sense. But of course, black is faster, and you can't afford to trade queens. And because of that, you're going to have to go like queen b1, and that's going to run into more tempi with the queen. Yeah, that's tough. Okay, now the pawn's just promoting, actually. And okay, here you even took the pawn, just to make sure that the king is always getting out, and there's no tricky perpetual things. Also, I guess I have to get off this diagonal, so don't hang your queen. Now you look like you're in trouble. That's unfortunate. That really went in an unfortunate way. Okay, looks like the rest of the team is doing well though. Tom seems to be winning. As black here, up 2 pawns. And yeah, importantly, keeping an eye on these kinds of tactics. You have to be a little bit careful. Because if you allow this, then, like, when the king is somewhere else, and you allow this, then you might, this pawn will drop because you can't take, because that's going to promote. So you have to be kind of careful. So how do you do it? I suppose you could, for example, bring your rook over, threaten to give a check like here, at which point the king would have to maybe come over, you take this one here, and then you just go here and control this pawn and push your 3 pawns. That could work, for example, maybe. But first, it's white's move, so we'll have to see what white does. I wonder if you also, like, if you do some nothing move, let's say this, can you do this? This also maybe works. Huh? Here, and then you just move the rook away. But I don't know, I would maybe prefer for you to play this first, so then everything is easier, because you actually have this check. I think this makes it more comfortable. Because now, let's say, I don't know, white doesn't really have any moves. Let's say you make another move. Now you can give this check. If king goes here, you just take the pawn. And this isn't really a thing, because you can just, push or something, and takes, and here. And this is no problem at all. So actually, very easy conversion for Tom. He's going to win. Alex Baburin, opposite color bishop endgame, but apparently also totally winning. Yeah, you're going to have, I mean, these pawns are basically nothing because they're so blockaded. You're going to lose one of them eventually because you're going to get, actually, how does it work? Sorry. It's not as easy as I thought on first glance. So you're going to have to put pressure on it. King's going to, oh my God, what in the world? Thank you so much. I got scared by the sound. What the hell? Thank you so much. I'm fine for the tier 3 subs. So you're getting one of the sought after postcards. Brilliant. Thank you so much for the support. Just send a whisper or something with your address. Let us know, and if you want to specify which GM you would like to sign, let us know that as well. That would be fantastic. Thank you so much. That is brilliant. Great to have you. Have you been here before? I'm not sure if I've seen you here before. Thank you so much for your support. Shipping to Ukraine, that would be good. Yeah, so definitely let us know address and everything. Let's see, how is Trisha's game going in the meantime? So Queen E7 was found. I mean, yeah, kind of had to be. Ooh. Text on Instagram. All right, that's also good. Okay, so now we're hanging the A7 pawn. I mean, rook to F5 was the move. I guess the idea is to defend this F7 pawn, and after this, we're gonna win the B pawn. The problem is, though, that even if we win this pawn, even if we trade these pawns, now the 4 versus 3 with rooks is a draw. I imagine that with rooks and queens it's a simpler draw, although I don't know that for sure, but I would assume it's easier. I'm sure it's also a draw, but I assume it's an easier draw than with just the rook, because you just have more basically ammunition to create counterplay with. Actually, Germany, Frederick Svane from Germany, he won a 4 versus 3 rook endgame in round 2. So these get lost, and they're not easy at all. And that was a GM he was playing, I think, or at least an IM. So definitely not easy at all to hold these things, but theoretically speaking, those situations would be a draw. Now, Trisha can also think about something like G5 and trying to break open things for the king. That would also be a plan, for sure. Okay. But yeah, who knows what the best way to go about this is. Hello, by the way. Oh, Tong Tong, you were in my chat. I didn't even realize. Tong Tong, thank you so much. You were in my chat. Also, Anna Smith. Hello. Hey, buddy. How are you? Thank you. Sorry, I didn't read my chat. That's my fault. I didn't actually believe anyone was going to show up. So that's very kind. Thank you. Thank you. Next time I'll have a chat pop out. Maybe. How do I do this? I don't know. Who knows? But anyway, maybe I'll ensure somehow that I can see my own chat somewhere. Yeah, so here I can actually see both. Also, actually, never mind. We have restream on. So I should be seeing it there, shouldn't I? Not entirely sure. Oh yeah, this way I can have like a synthesized, no. Synthesized? No. What's the word? When you put something together? Oh, I can't think right now. Non-native speaker strikes again. Anyway. Synergized? No. Maybe it is synthesized. But that's more like artificially made. Anyway, whatever. Not really that crucially important to know. Ah, Alice lost. That's a shame. Tough luck, Alice. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, no tricks because this square is unfortunately covered. If you could give this check, maybe there would be a chance. Because then you could promote, and if you don't get mated, you're gonna be a rook up, but maybe you would even get mated. Who knows? But yeah, that's tough. She was doing, I don't know. It's just like a tough opening sometimes when your opponent doesn't make a mistake to make things happen. And then she ended up in a bad structure and having to defend, and that was really difficult. Also, just when time trouble was hitting. That's unfortunate. So Alice loses. But Lara won, and Tosh's game just ended now. This was scary because Tosh was also dead last for a second there. So actually, just barely scraping the win here against Team Sudan. Okay. The king came back just to make very sure that there's no promotion going on or anything. Could have also promoted. Would have also worked, of course, but just to make it, completely sure that there's no counterplay. Yeah. So Tosh, well done. Winning. She was playing the highest rated opponent for some reason. I guess this is the dominant tactic. Putting your highest rated player on board 3. Oh, you have to actually be careful here as black not to hang anything. Hold on a moment. She just moved, so wait, so what's happening here? So she took the pawn. Oh, very clever, very clever. So Trisha actually tricked her opponent a little bit. I was like, what happened just now? The only reason I wasn't panicking is because I have the eval bar. So here, it's kind of looking like white just traded one pair of pawns, which is good. But actually, after this move, you do lose this pawn because Trisha recognized that after, it looks like for white that we're pinning the rook and we're threatening g4. But Trisha recognized that that's not actually a threat because after queen a3, g4, we have queen f3. And then we're winning because now you have to trade the queens. Otherwise, you're going to lose this somehow. Then you save your rook and you're 2 pawns up. And that's not a problem anymore. I guess you're going to be... Well, yeah, you're going to be 2 pawns up because you need to defend this. And you can't. So, yeah. Well done by Trisha. Well spotted. And your opponent played rook to e1. So trying to... yeah, that was very good. Very good. Apparently this is still drawn. But what is white's move here? What is white's move? Ah, okay. There is only one move. Actually, it's not too hard to see. I'm surprised you didn't find this. It's queen b1, I think. Yeah, queen b1. So you keep this pin. And you're also attacking this pawn. Now, the queen can't move and defend it. Otherwise... Actually, hold on a second. Because if you just move the pawn forwards... Ah, yeah, now of course you can't do this because now the queen trade isn't possible anymore. So now you maybe have to play like g6 and then your pawn's dropping. And then you're no longer winning. Although it said after this and this, you're still making a draw. g4, queen of 3. I guess it's always perpetual. Yeah, okay, it's always perpetual. But of course you don't want to have the game end like that. Diana in the chat crying tears for Alice. Alice's rating points. Yeah, that was unfortunate. That was very unfortunate because it didn't look so bad the whole time, and then suddenly, like, yeah, it was. I mean, it was very hard to understand the position. I don't know, I always struggle with these kinds of close positions, and it was very difficult. And then in time trouble, it didn't end well, unfortunately. Her opponent was playing quite well, though. I think she gave her an opportunity one time. Well, maybe she had an opportunity instead of bishop h6. She could have played bishop g5, trying to force f6 as weakness. Although, as I said, I didn't really understand why. Oh, well, not why, but like how to make use of that weakness either. So, I don't know. By the way, Diana, did you see? We got a tier 3 sub. Do you see that? I hope you saw that. Maybe crying for that reason. Tears of joy. Padamundo earning you some money. Unexpectedly. Okay, so this is also an interesting position. Alex Baburin. I wonder how exactly you convert it. Because if you put the bishop on this diagonal, now you need to defend it with the king. But the problem is you can, because like let's say you shuffle on this diagonal, trying to make the king move, trying to zugzwang, but this bishop now has all the squares in the world, like has enough squares, because now it no longer needs to defend this one. So maybe what you have to do is you go here, you force this, and eventually you push this one. Unrespected? No, unsuspected. Unsuspected. So what I'm saying is, I guess we can just put it on the board. So I don't know, let's say some move here. Bishop goes back. Then we make a waiting move. Oh, okay, apparently that's not it. Oh, sorry, no, hold on. Here we protect. Actually, maybe we don't even have to protect this pawn. Also possible. This goes in my collection maybe of interesting endgames at the Olympiad. I've been making a little collection and there's already been some good ones. Apparently Alex also not 100% on what to do here because he's been shuffling the bishop around a bit. And I don't 100% understand this. So my idea was earlier, as I was saying. So, wait, what did the guy play? So he was shuffling his king. So let's say he keeps shuffling his king. I go here. Wait, sorry. This pawn is hanging. How did I not see this the whole time? I'm an absolute clown. What am I on about? Okay. So king h6. Then fine. And then let's say No, but now we just... Yeah, I can't. I'm just a bit dumb, I think. Yeah, I'm just a bit silly. I totally forgot that this pawn wasn't defended. Somehow that didn't enter my mind. Okay. Never mind, I thought it was a difficult endgame. I don't think it's actually a difficult endgame. My bad. So how about Connor? How's Connor doing? Looks very good. Up in exchange. And a passed pawn. So that looks winning. Did Report win? Yes, he did. Well done. That means, I guess... Uzbekistan might be losing to Vietnam. Sindarov lost against Min. Oh, Min Lei. Well done. The Bullet Machine. Also good in classical, apparently. And the others seem to be holding, so that would be an upset. Vietnam beating Uzbekistan. Previous gold medal winners of the last Olympiad. Duda taking care of business again. Crushing this Olympiad so far. Seeming like they're going to win against against Lithuania, who yesterday beat Germany. Norway up 1 against Slovakia, and now actually Christiansen seems like he's winning as well. He was in trouble earlier. Georgia still up 1 against England. Actually, now all of the games are going badly. Adams is now... Okay, I mean, this is a position where only black can win. If we look at it, I don't know, can you see it okay? I think you can, yeah. So, I mean, the dark square bishop, the bad bishop against a good knight, might be a draw, but only black can win. Howell was winning earlier. Still winning, apparently. Okay, never mind. I just got trolled by the eval bar here. Oh, maybe I didn't get trolled. It was for a second. But now it's back to wing winning. King h7. King is coming all the way around, I guess, or what? Or maybe you're moving your g-pawn. I don't see why you would, though. This doesn't look so easy either, to be honest. I don't... Like, you have to break through somehow. So that's going to be exciting still. How's Ukraine doing? Oh, Ivanchuk is winning! Let's go! Let's go, Ivanchuk! Let's go! Come on! Never mind, it's not winning anymore. God damn it, are you joking me? Ah! Engine. Please. Oh, apparently you're winning again. I don't know. Sorry. Let me think about the position. Let me think about it. I'm just usually not quick enough. If I was relying on my own brain, you know, I wouldn't be able to flick through these Super GM games. There's too many games to analyze by hand. So that's why we're using the engine. So, I mean, he's a piece up. But, well, I'll say and black's king looks like it's in trouble. Might get into some sort of mating net soon. I mean, let's say white gets 2 moves. That's checkmate, right? So, so what does black do? You can bring back your king, but then, of course, you go here, and then you're losing this pawn because it can't be defended. So actually, this looks like a pretty simple win. Even I would find this. And so I think he's not happy with what's happening. Apparently here it was fine. Who understands? Nobody. Apparently king g7 here is okay. Rook d7. King f6. Rook b7. Okay, I mean, to be honest, I would think this is lost as well. Engine disagrees, apparently. Not super lost. But I would think that's lost. And Korobov is winning against Robson, so that means Ukraine is going to beat the US. Very likely, because, okay, this looks very simple. Let's look at this one. So the Ivanchuk game looks very simple. This game... Okay, I mean, also just an exchange. And... okay, this one may be a little bit less simple. Okay, I mean... At least... I mean, maybe it is very simple as well. Maybe it is just very simple too, yeah. Although, you can't really take here yet. You don't really need to, I suppose. I think... So, let's say king takes. I don't think you can take here. Because then you might get sort of pinned, and if you trade everything, it might be black. Who's winning? Let's see. Can you take here? No. But only because of knight b2. I was thinking this one. Okay, apparently this is totally fine. Oh, not this. Okay, I guess this does win for white. I was thinking maybe you're fast enough. But I guess your king's sort of stupidly in the way. Actually, yeah. Oh, no, actually, never mind. You just push, push, push. Never mind. Okay, yeah, obviously, white is fast enough. So, maybe this is reasonably simple then. What else? So king g3, if you can just take. Oh no, but knight b2 I said doesn't work. So actually, but okay, that's also not necessary. It's okay. Can try to pick the pawn up this way. Can also try to go after the bishop maybe. Why not this? Okay, how about this one? Yeah, this one seems nice, although what if the knight, oh never mind, there's a rook there, I'm blind. So what if the knight goes here? But then also you can go here probably and threaten to take, and then maybe even come back or something. I don't know. I mean, okay, and maybe here. Hey, go cool. Again, missed a lot. Oh, that's okay. Well, I'm sure. Tiana resting. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, US seems to be losing. I was just looking at this game, seeing how easy it is, but apparently, like, even I was making moves and I wasn't messing it up, so that means it's easy, and this one's very easy, I think. The Ivanchuk game seems very easy to win. So, the US, I mean, listen, you should have played Hans instead of Wesley. I've been saying it all along. I've been saying it all along. Wesley is just not made for this kind of event. Hungary won, even though Lecco might be in trouble. India is crushing again. Might be another 3.5. Sarana Prague, they didn't even really play a very long game at all. China's gonna win. They have just too many 2700s, even though Ding never wins a game in his life. I hope he's saving all the wins. I hope he's saving all the wins for the World Championship. Yeah, no, I was more memeing, but yeah. Hans, I guess his rating gains came too late. Also, I'm happy that Robson is there. I'm happy that Robson is there. I like him. He's nice. He streamed sometimes. He was nice to interact with. He had like not very many viewers at all. It's always kind of cute. Okay. Yeah, also this might be an upset. Vietnam might be beating Uzbekistan. So loads of upsets. Yesterday already Germany lost to Lithuania. Here Georgia might hold England because Jabava won. Howell might win on board 1, but inconsequentially. Also, this is another cheat code. I don't know what's happening. Many of the underdog teams are putting their best player on board 3. Even Georgia. Like Jababa, he might not be that much higher rated than the people now, but he was like 2,700 almost, right? Or maybe he was 2,700. So putting him on board 3 is kind of a bit of a meme. Plus, he is still the highest rated player. Okay, Iran seems to be beating Denmark. Where is Germany? I'm just scrolling. Somewhere in the dumps. Okay, Giri won. Even India. Yeah, that's true. I guess so. Although, I mean, for them, it's not as big of a difference. Like, there's like 30 points between them. Whereas, Jababa is like 80 points higher than everyone. Plus, he used to be 2,700 not that long ago. So, yeah, Gukash handicapped, maybe, yeah. But also, I think it's also sort of I think they put Gukash on board 1 just because he's the challenger. They just put him there just because. Also, maybe he can make. Maybe on board 1 it's actually easier because you just can make a lot of draws if you want. Like, you don't need to win so much on board 1. If you just neutralize people, it's fine. And also, Gukash probably, like, half the time he doesn't even need any openings. He's just going to beat you later. Whatever. Okay, so Netherlands beating North Macedonia. Okay, Germany finally beating people. Also, Frederick Svanen is interesting. He's 4 out of 4 now, but he started with very not shaky, but like 2 games where he got drawn end games against much lower rated opponents and still ground them out. Even yesterday, he had sort of he just won an end game. I have watched some of the streams, yeah. Romania also seems to be down in the dumps a bit. Playing against Faroe Islands. Interesting. Okay, let's see. How is Trisha doing? She nicely tricked her opponent here. We were saying her opponent wanted to point out that this rook is pinned and she's... can't draw arrows. This rook is pinned and she's threatening g4. Trisha was like, no, actually, you're not. Took the second pawn. And now if you play g4, you can play queen f3, and here you're easily winning. There was a fairly understandable saving move here, I thought. Queen b1 seemed fairly findable. Now you're actually threatening g4 and you're attacking this pawn. So actually, you're just going to have to play this 4 versus 3. And I was saying earlier that I would imagine that it's easier to draw this with rook and queen on the board than with, just rooks. Yeah, as I said earlier, Frederick Svanen, he actually won a 4 versus 3 rook endgame against the GM. So just going to show that that's not so easy to hold, even though it should be a draw. Yeah, anyway. Trisha should... Oh, actually, I didn't get the newest moves. Now, I guess after her opponent played rook e1, should be able to finally close out the game. It was much harder than I would have thought earlier. But there were a lot of tricks for white, and sometimes, white had a lot of chances to liquidate into rook end games that might have been fairly holdable, but missed them. And Trisha was, of course, in huge time trouble, which is why she even gave those opportunities sometimes, because it's very hard to play a technical position like this with no time. But now, okay, I mean, now you're just pushing your pawn, so that should be fairly simple. And I have a lot of faith that she's gonna win, which would mean that Ireland wins 3-1 against Sudan. Alice unfortunately losing, but yeah. Tosh, I mean, it was very scary again. Tosh having had kind of a busted position earlier in the middle game, but then her opponent blundered in the end game, and yeah. First allowed her to hold. She was actually Tosh was doing very well to keep play, and then they sort of got into a more or less drawable endgame where White should have still been pushing, but sorry, no, yeah, yes, White should have still been pushing, but blundered, and then Black was able to win. Yeah. Anyway, let's check back. Is there anything else exciting going on? I just want to see. I don't know. I'm kind of tempted to end the stream just so I can watch the moment when Ivanchuk wins. I mean, to be honest, I do have the stream open here, so I am technically watching it. But yeah, to be honest, since Diana's not playing, maybe we'll finish the broadcast actually, because I mean Trisha is gonna win. This might take a while though, and she's definitely not gonna lose, right? So the match is over anyway. Let's just quickly actually check on the Open. David Fitzsimons is going to lose this one, unfortunately. Tom O'Gorman already won. Alex Baburin will win this game. And Connor. We were saying earlier that this was looking very good. I mean, pass, pawn, and exchange. And I think that should be true still. So, anyway, thank you everyone so much for tuning in. This was, oh no, just when I was thinking we're gonna end. Hello everyone from Jesse's stream. How did her game go? Who's streaming? Is it just who is commentating on Jesse's channel? Is it Rebecca? Are you streaming on, or who's doing Jesse's commentary? I haven't been checking out the other streams too much for obvious reasons, because I'm doing it myself. But yeah, so Diana is taking a break today. We're still doing some commentary just for the team because we are, I guess, featured on the Irish Chess Union's website and stuff. Definitely won't be Rebecca. I don't why. I think it's easier to not fly to Hungary, even if you're not playing. You could possibly still do some commentary. But yeah, it would be disingenuous to call it commentary. Hello, Screws. How are you doing? By the way, now that there's new people in the chat, I feel obligated to shout out Diana's brilliant offer of postcards from the Olympiad. So as we are on a quest to make it to the next revenue share level, we are we are looking for people who can subscribe on tier 3. As a reward, you will get a postcard from the Olympiad from Diana, personal message, plus signature from a top player, either a mystery top player or a top player of your choice if Diana can make it happen and you specify your request. So that would be lovely. That would not only help skew some more, redirect some more money from Jeff Bezos' pockets into Diana's and make her happy and buy food and rent and stuff like that. But also you would get a lovely postcard and a signature from maybe your favorite player. So that would be a win-win situation. Shame Ireland is missing its best players. Is it? Is there a joke in there somewhere? Sorry. His draws every round on board 1 would be great. What are we referring to? Coffin. Or what? Alex Lopez. Okay, I don't know. I don't get that reference. I'm sorry. Irish Geary. That's funny, actually. Irish Geary. Why does he have a reputation of making only draws? What's his rating these days? Does he still play chess? Is that still a thing? $24.16. He could definitely qualify. Come on. What is he doing? Has he played any chess? He played in November 2023. Cork Chess Congress. Wow. Of all places you could play. The Cork Chess Congress is what you go for. That's interesting. I guess he lives there or something. Has he quit chess or what's happened? He does live in Cork, you mean, or he does still play chess? Also, by the way, another thing that I forgot to shout out. If you wouldn't mind, give my channel a follow. Oh, Danny R79, Home City Tournament. See, like all the people with insider knowledge coming out of the woodwork now. So we do have some Irish crowd representing. That's good. A bunch of lurkers coming out when Ireland talk is happening. Unfortunately, I can't really provide that too well. Lacking a bit of Irish experience myself. But yeah, if you wouldn't mind, if you want to give me my channel a follow, you see it pinned up there, 17. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to start streaming and might as well try to get some followers before I really start streaming. I've always said I would. And finally, this is the time. Diana has this whole setup. I might as well make use of it. Might be some chess training. Might be some research, essay writing, studying, all that sort of fun or not so fun stuff. Depends on what you're into. Maybe I'll play some people. But mainly I was going to say I was going to look to make it sort of an environment where I can make myself focus, which would be nice. Would be a nice boon. I'd be happy with that. Yeah. Okay, so has anything happened in Trisha's game? Not very much. It's just, I mean, this could take a while, as I said. The only should have streamed those 4 to 5 days when Diana was in Dublin. Well, listen, Diana like a long time ago, said she would make me an overlay, and she's never done it, so that's the reason. That is, in fact, the reason why I haven't streamed. It's all her fault. I had nothing to do with it. I couldn't have streamed without an overlay. It's impossible. I couldn't have made one myself, no, because I'm just not talented that way. So nothing at all to do with me. Totally innocent. Tell that to Einsteiny if you see him. Yeah, no, but I don't know. I'm bad at self-scheduling and starting with stuff, but I would really like to do it. So I will eventually. Wow, 2.5 Vietnam is crushing it. Uzbekistan getting destroyed. My goodness. And Norway looks like they might take home a 3-1. I was wondering actually, if you're not like a super top team, if it's useful to take an early, draw or a tie or a loss even, just so you can score higher points and avoid some top players. For Justice Raiders, Chloe is winning now. Well, we might as well, might as well look at the South African team. Why not? Okay. That can work for Norway if Magnus can win against top boards of other teams. Well, yeah, or even, Germany lost yesterday. And now today they won 4-0, so that's the kind of thing that you could see. Wait, was it searching for? Oh yeah, South Africa. Okay, so Jesse seems to have won. Okay, who are they playing? Liberia. And they were actually... Okay, I guess they were always going to win. Although, or was she losing before? Oh, okay, so they were actually in trouble. Interesting. Some of these underdog teams are really... Even Sudan today against Ireland was putting up a fight. And yesterday, of course, Thailand also... It was a nice maneuver, getting the bishop out and... by trading these pawns and then getting the bishop to be useful when it was like the least useful piece of all time back here. If only China brought their primary team. Yeah, China would be... Well, actually, maybe it's good because it seems like it wouldn't even be a competition if China played with their full top team. Especially if the Musicic sisters aren't playing, then it would just be China against India. But I think India wouldn't really stand a chance if they play with 4 GMs and Hu Yifan, which is like GM plus. Or if they only played with their active players, then it would still be a crush. I think no other team would have. Yeah, we should have had a team Polgard. That's true. And because they have so many teams, they could even have invited their dad, Hungry C in the open section, team Polgar. Yeah, that would have been fun. Or at least Judith could have played. But I don't know. I guess she's busy. Yeah, I know there's a Hungry C, but I'm just saying, these guys, could have sacrificed them on the altar of having a Polgar team. So this is just winning now. I guess this knight is good and this bishop's useless. Or let's say this knight can become good and this bishop's useless. It's not like, also I guess you get the A file, which is important. Yeah, I mean, India is a bit different, yeah. Well, last time India had sort of a split up team, right? They had like some of Gukesh was playing for India B, wasn't he? Like he was board one for India B, or was he playing on a lower board? I can't remember. But some of them, some of the young ones, they played for India B, and then maybe one of them played for the Open. Can't remember how it was exactly. We could look it up, of course. So India 2 actually finished ahead, and that was Gukesh, Sarin, or Gukesh, Nihal, Prag, Aliban, and Sadwani. And so it was Gukesh on board 1, and India main team was Harikrishna, Vidit, Erigaisi, Narayanan, and Krishnan. Or Sasikiran, I don't know. So yeah, they had Erigaisi, but none of the other kids. And India 3 had Ganguly, Seturaman, Abhijit Gupta, Murali, and Puranik. And now they even have another. Yeah, Arjun was in the A team, yeah. Yeah, that was. The Gukesh was trolling a bit. They could have won the whole thing. That's unfortunate. For them. Actually, I'm happy that Uzbekistan won. I like the underdogs. Yeah. Well, anyway. Okay, let's check back in with Trisha. Is the game ending? I mean, it should soon, right? Now you're actually finally pushing. You're just pushing. And the rook's passive, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem anymore. I think we can end it here. Everybody can watch, unspecified other stream of their choice. And we're gonna raid someone. We're gonna raid someone. Everybody, if you want to give me a follow on my other channel, that would be nice. If you want to support Diana, and you want a postcard from the Olympiad, sub tier 3, and you will get a personal message with a signature from a GM of your choice, or a mystery GM, or player, doesn't have to be a GM. And make sure to keep an eye out for recaps on Diana's YouTube channel. There won't be one today, but tomorrow she'll play, and there will be a recap, and you can watch the recaps of the first 3 rounds there as well. So yeah, that's gonna be this round over. Team Ireland women are going to win probably 3-1 against Sudan. Trisha will convert, and Team Ireland Open are going to win also 3-1 against Tunisia, very likely. So yeah, I'll leave you with that. Who can we raid? Ellen. Oh no, she's streaming in Danish. Never mind. I don't know. I guess Chess Dojo would be the one. Or Key Whiskey. What's wrong with Danish? Danish. We're not smart enough for that stuff. Also, I've been told It sounds like Swedish with a hot potato in your mouth. So that doesn't sound too appealing. But yeah, anyway, let's raid. Would you say, oh, penguin? Okay, sure, we can, is it penguin GM or penguin GM1? Potato doesn't sound appealing to the Irish. Well, I'm not Irish, so that's probably why. Although, to be honest, in German, we call people who are very German potatoes. So, okay, let's do penguin then. Yeah, thank you for coming in. I'll see you next time. Don't forget to follow my new channel. Goodbye. Have a good day. Be back tomorrow. Diana's going to be back playing, and they're going to play against a stronger team again. So that's going to be fun. I'll see you there.